right, let's get to it. I'm going to do a couple of problems from this yellow 11.7 worksheet. I'm going to do an easy one first. Actually, 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's just comparing your side lengths. Comparing your same lengths have to be compared. So a diameter to a diameter, make sure that those would be the same scale factor as height to height, and so forth. So actually, 1 through 6 are pretty easy. So let's get started on 7, 8, 9, 10, and so forth. I'm going to do a question, I don't know. Which one's harder? Probably 7, I guess, maybe. That's what I'm picking. So right away, what you should be doing is what I've been doing on the board. Perimeter ratio, area ratio, volume ratio. You should write in what is given. So it gives you the 64 pi volume compared to 125 pi volume. Putting those in my volume ratio, these two cancel, so I just have the 64 over 125. Now if I want to figure out my perimeter ratio, I have to take the cubic root of 64 and the cubic root of 125. Remember, that's the same thing as raising it to the 1/3 power, so that's 4/5. So now if I want to go into my area ratio, because I'm actually looking for, I'm just actually looking for scale factor, so this is an easier one. So actually that's my final answer. Bing, bada, boom. That's all I have to do. Cubic root is the same thing as 1/3 power. So let's get into more tough stuff. 9 and 10 are the same thing except you're given the area ratio, so I'm not actually going to do one of those. If I look at 11, 12, 13, those are a little bit more tough. Let's see, which one's the toughest? Let's do the toughest one. They're all pretty easy. Let's do 13. I have a feeling if I were to say, give me which problem you want me to do on the board, someone would probably pick 13. Only because it's the last one in that section. And people usually think the last one is the toughest. I don't know if it is. But the first thing you have to know is that it gave you 2 surface areas. So that's the area ratio. If I have 2 areas that are of similar figures, I have an area ratio. I can simplify that fraction. That's the same thing as 1/9. If I have area which is 2-dimensional, if I want to go to perimeter ratio that's 1-dimensional, I take the square root. The square root, I get 1/3. Now if I want to go now to my volume ratio, I have to cube it, because volume ratio is cubed. So if I cube this, it'd be 3 cubed is 27. I have to find my volume ratio because I'm looking for volume. So I can use my volume ratio, this is my volume ratio, and set that equal to what I'm looking for. It says find the volume of the smaller. Find the volume of your smaller. So what is given is the volume of the larger. Once you have this, you should be able to set or solve your equation. Cross, multiply, divide, you would get 16, and my units here are meters cubed. Why is it meters cubed? Because my other volume is cubed. So same thing for question 14. It gives you your perimeter ratio. You define your volume ratio because when it's saying it holds an amount, that is volume. That's my hint with 14. 15, 16, 17. Which one's your hardest one? Again, I don't really know which one's the hardest one. They all look pretty darn easy to me. Let's go with 16. 16. So first thing for all of these problems that you have been seeing me do, I'm setting up my chart. It gives me 2 volumes. 2 volumes, that means both those volumes go in my volume ratio. If you can't simplify the fraction, in this case you cannot simplify the fraction, take the cubic root. That's the same thing as to the 1/3 power, your cubic root. So that will help me figure out what my perimeter ratio is. My perimeter ratio is 1/5. I'm looking for area. Surface area is still area. So if I have 1/5 perimeter ratio, that means I have 1/25 for my area ratio, because you square it. Area is squared. So I can use my area ratio, and it says find the surface area of a larger, so I don't know my larger, if the smaller surface area is given. So that's what my equation looks like. Cross, multiply, and divide. My answer would be 288 inches squared. Again, because my surface area was given. So really, those are all the questions I'm going to do for you right now. We have a quiz tomorrow. I would look at the answer key. Once the questions are done, you can look at your answer key or my answer key. You can ask me questions tomorrow morning. You can ask me a couple questions before the quiz tomorrow. You have a great day, just like the greatest day. Think about your greatest day possible and you live it. Live the life you want to live, the greatest day. Kind of like The Greatest Showman. And if you want to listen to the song again, I'm going to end on it. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's just beautiful.